This is the town of BANAUE. It's in the Philippines. It's known for two things: gorgeous rice terraces and these amazing wooden scooters.
So in here, Robert, do you gain wahtu hitun viewpoint BANAUE Ifugao ya ohaan mun carvings mun paop hitun wooden scooter.
Robert and the other men of BANAUE used to carry rice and wood by hand up and down the steep hills. It took forever, so they came up with the idea of using scooters, wooden scooters. Going up to speeds of 50 kilometers per hour, they're also revered as pieces of art.
Limay arko, nun lapahaan nun aman itewian maniko tagri.
Okay, so photographers, get ready.
Every April, you'll find the people of BANAUE gathered together for the annual Mbaya Festival and its famous scooter race.
Nung pitlua ang nangapak ite ang scooter race ito hitong BANAUE. Mayap, mayap siri na nung mundugan-dugan tahi scooter. Nakaapak taotan itewi ang scooter ya. Ani ko nadawa aman ng scooter ya. Yasinan makahta. Kaya ki diyam amanan aman si scooter. Ani ko wooden scooter ya. Takno mipati ko nan aakte ang scooter. Hinan wajanan impayah. Takno mipati ko nan kortura misto hitun panawaw an hitewian scooter ya at si mamait nan kortura ahyanan hiyay ohahi chayawon wino chayuwon chi tawles an umari hitun panawaw at si mapukaw nan kortura tun panawaw.
Oakland really will chew you up and spit you out like it's nothing, you know? People get killed every day. You know, living in Oakland, nothing's promised tomorrow, you know? So if I'm gone tomorrow, what legacy would I leave behind? My name is Tyrone Stevenson, also known as Baby Champ, the Scraper Bike King, and I'm the founder and the CEO of the original Scraper Bike team.
I ride because it's my lifestyle.
I don't know, it just makes me express myself even more.
We work with youth that lives in the community and teach them how to make their bicycles. For students, you know, for kids to be a part of the team, you have to have at least a 2.0 GPA. Some of them like it, some of them don't, but at the end of the day, they have to respect it if they want to be a part of this team.
We use different bike parts to make one big one and make it look better. I can basically fix anything on the bike now.
The Scraper Bike team teaches youth how to, you know, customize their bikes, put aluminum foil and duct tape and spray paint on the bike and, you know, make a nice bike. A Scraper Bike is bigger than his life. A regular bike is just a regular bike.
I ride Scraper Bike because I like the way they look.
You get to show it off and say you made it yourself.
Yesterday was our grand opening of the shed. The first youth ran bike shop ever in Oakland. I founded the original Scraper Bike team officially 2007. Yeah, me and my cousin Avery. It's a bittersweet feeling to open up the shed, you know, just knowing that my cousin Avery isn't around, you know, just to see it, you know, just to have his presence here, because he was killed, he was murdered. Senseless. It had nothing to do with nothing. I feel like this whole movement is dedicated to him, you know? And I do this because one day I might not be here. And somebody else can step into my place and keep it going.
Ride till the wheels come off, baby.
Lowrider bicycles is a special everything. A special frame, a special wheels, a special paint, everything is special. The bicycles we make is made with love because it's with our hands.
You know those bikes Snoop and countless other rappers rode around in? You know, the ones that ooze that West Coast style? Lowrider bikes. Low to the ground, chromed out, gold-plated. They're an extension of lowrider car culture, and they all started here.
I am the godfather of the lowrider bicycles. When I was 10 years old, I used to fix all the bikes for the neighbors. I always dreamed with a motorcycle and a car, but since I was too small and no money, so I put my mind in the bicycles.
A mainstay in Compton and West Coast culture, these iconic bikes were actually first created in Mexico.
I brought the lowrider to California in early 80s.
And soon after, locals took notice of the shiny, swaggy rides hanging in his shop.
When I start making bikes and put it in a display, people come and say, hey, can you make me one of those? And then they spread, and now we have customers from all over the world.
This is one of Manny's creations right here. He almost practically put everything on there. He blew my mind when he put it on there for me.
It's completely different than the regular bike, and the way they look and the way they drive. It's an art. People dream, and we make the dream come true.
In a city that loves its bikes, there is one man looking out for the rest. One man brave enough to bring bike thieves to justice. A man the city calls Bike Batman.
In reality, I'm just an engineer. Back in the early 2000s, I started really noticing, there was a lot of bike theft. I remember I had a set of wheels stolen and I was livid. I was super poor and I had nothing to do. I couldn't recover them. It was so frustrating for me knowing that the police are so busy with so many other crimes in Seattle that there was nobody following up on these minor incidents.
Enough was enough. He realized he needed to take the law into his own hands, and he had the perfect plan.
I would best describe Bike Index as a database that allows you to register your bicycle. It's a great way to search for stolen bikes. The way it works for me is, as I'm perusing Craigslist, I'll notice a fishy ad and I will immediately open up Bike Index and do a quick search for any bikes that have been stolen in that geographic area. The first time that I recovered a bike, I had no idea what I was doing. I drove after work to go meet this guy, and it wasn't one person I was meeting, it was three. And I told him, guys, the cops are on their way. I just called them. This bike is stolen, and you're not gonna be leaving with it. Eventually, I threw the bike in my truck, burned out, returned the bike, and it felt great.
What began as a simple plan to help a fellow cyclist took on a life of its own. Seattle's own Bike Vigilante was born.
We were able to recover high 30s or low 40s of bikes. I'm not entirely sure when the Bike Vigilante had become a thing. It was probably when the Bike Batman moniker was given to me. And this is just something, I like doing. I don't need or want, any recognition. Just doing good is essentially, how I try to live my life.
And thanks to Bike Batman, the cyclists of Emerald City can rest easy once more.
When I'm out there riding my bike and I have this pump on, it's almost like it's not even there. I just feel the freedom of being out there and feeling the speed and adrenaline. It's just hanging out there riding our bike. Some might say I'm like Dora the Explorer, because I'm always wearing this backpack. But this backpack keeps me alive. My name is Hannah Jordan. I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm 15 years old and I'm a competitive cyclist. My long-term goals are to become pro and be in the Olympics in 2020 for Tokyo and bring back the Tour de France for women. I have an unknown rare metabolic disease. From when I was very little, I was in and out of the hospital and very sick all the time. And when I was 9, they gave me only a couple months to live. It's like I sort of skipped childhood. My mom took me all over the country to some specialists and they found a solution and they gave me a thing called a G-tube that pumps sugar into my stomach. It basically keeps my blood sugar at a normal rate. I've always wanted to do competitive stuff, but for most of my life, I couldn't play sports because of my condition. When I got on the bike, it was almost like my problems weren't there. It's just been like a whole new world open up to me.
This one right here is really special. This was her first one, and it's a silver medal, but she'd actually only been riding a bike 2 months. And then shortly after that, she did this one. She did 101 miles in 5 hours and 18 minutes, which is very, very fast. And that's kind of when we realized that she probably was gonna be pretty good at this.
This weekend, I will be competing in Tulsa Tough, a 3-day race. Each day, 1,000 racers compete from 6 different countries around the world. These women are usually 20 and above. My mom and my dad, they're my biggest supporters. They take me to all the races and help me make it in cycling. My mom, she helps me get everything ready. And my dad, at the 200-meter mark, he starts yelling.
Move up, Hannah, move up, go!
It's like a mental marker of like when I start needing to sprint. What makes me different from other cyclists is the ability to tap in that willpower and determination. I like to tell people it's sort of coded in my DNA to be a fighter. Anyone that's been in the hospital for a long time or has gone through some struggles or pain or suffering, they just know how to dig deep and tap in and to be resilient. And even if you lose some days and you win some others, you have to keep getting back up each and every single time to go out there and ride your bike.